All right, welcome back, guys. Welcome back to yet another TapDaddyBeats stream. I hope you guys are having a good Thursday. I know I am. Today we're going to be mixing down some tracks. I've got 2 tracks picked out for today's mix session, and I think they are bangers. I think you guys are going to like them. Now, also, exciting news today. I've got an EP dropping tonight at midnight in 8 hours, 59 minutes, and 17 seconds. Sunrise Serenade. Beautiful, beautiful little chill hop EP, little jazz hop, I don't know, boom bap, chill bap, whatever you want to call it. It's just some positive vibes, you know? So go check out Sunrise Serenade. I think you guys are going to really enjoy this EP. I'm just going to drop a little pre-save link for anybody that might be curious to check it out. If you're trying to find the music, this is definitely what you want to find. But anyways, let's turn our attention to Ableton. We got some work to dig into today, and I'm excited to get to it. So let's pause that. But yeah. Sunrise Serenade drops at midnight, and I am TapDaddy on all platforms if you are trying to find the music. So anyways, let's get into the track today. We got a couple tracks lined up. This first one that I'm going to mix down in front of you guys, some of you guys might actually recognize. This was the last track that I made on Saturday during our Saturday morning cook-up. Shout out to all of you guys that come through for the Saturday morning cook-ups. This really has been one of my favorite things that I've been listening to this week, and I just decided, well, I don't know what I want to do with the song yet, but I do know that I want it mixed down and sounding spiffy. So we're going to start with this one. The second beat today that I want to mix down is actually a trap beat from a while ago. Something that I just think is really positive vibes, just really killer trap beat. I think you guys are going to really enjoy what we're going to be mixing down there as well. But without further ado, let's dive in to our first track. Song 955 doesn't even have a name yet, but we're gonna get to work on this one. Let's give it a listen. Let's see what we're working with here. I love the feel of these drums. These feel really great. They're a little bit sharp, they're a little crisp, but they've got a certain punch to them that just feels good. And I'm looking forward to getting these drums sounding immaculate with this bass line. Oh, that trumpet really adds a lot, doesn't it? Woo! Oh. Woo! Damn! Oh, man, I like this song. It's gonna be good. And I'm really just I'm not trying to like search for problems. I'm letting like problems kind of stick out to me, and immediately like that right there. Like that, I think that could come up. That can definitely be made more intense, you know. We'll play around with it. What's up, Aiden? How you doing, man? How you doing? Hell yeah. Oh, we're chilling. You got here just in time. We just listening on our first pass through here. Let me just double check, make sure that we don't have anything on the master. Good, perfect. Nothing on the master. Also, just one easy thing right off the bat that I know that I am going to want to do is I'm going to want to make this a nice curvy fade out. So let's do it. Let's do it. But yeah, Aiden says, you ain't going to believe this. I've officially recovered all of my files. My man, hell yeah. Damn, that's awesome. Did you go get your hard drive looked at? For those of you guys that are curious, Aiden Dodge, he lost a hard drive. It crashed on him. Dude. That's a good news, man. That's awesome. All right, let's give this a nice curvy fade out. 1 decibel, and then we'll go 3 decibels, and then we'll go 6 decibels, and then we'll just kind of let it go from there. Let's just hear that. Woo. Good shit. All right. Now, I forgot to check my max peak value. I mean, I see that we're at like positive 3.71. That's a doozy. That's probably going to want to bring that down by quite a bit. And it looks like I didn't even do, like, I did some light gain staging here, not like a ton of gain staging. This is usually where I recommend you guys start with your mixes, is just like really 2 things, easiest things you guys can do to like just automatically start making big leaps in your mixes. Just start with the things that are going to matter the most, being the gain staging, how it is balanced. What are these decibel values for each of these instruments? You know, like, you know, does the drum need to come forward? Is it too loud? Like, let's bring it back. You know, before we go in with all of our EQs, all of that nonsense, let's just kind of get it in the ballpark of where it needs to sound. Now, aside from that, I would say very much also in that vein, let's think about spacing. Let's think about, you know, where these are positioned in the mix. So, right off the bat, I'm going to give ourselves some headroom here. So let's just bring everything down. Okay, I've highlighted everything. Let's bring it down by like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is 8 going to be good? We'll see. What's up, Ken? How you doing, man? How you doing? Welcome on in. How's your day going, man? But yeah, Aiden was saying, no, I used Recuva. I'm going to start recording some music videos today. Fuck yeah, dude. Best of luck with that. That's sick. All right, let's listen to this back. We're going to start nudging the gain staging, just the decibel volumes of things up and down a little bit. And I also want to get a more accurate readout on what our max peak value is. So let's do it. Okay, it's much quieter now. I invite you guys to turn up your volume to whatever's comfortable, you know? But yeah, no problem, Ken. Yeah, it's good to have you here, man. But yeah, let's see. Do it, Aiden. Hop on a plane. I believe in you. All right. Turning up my volume a bit. Just nudging it up. These drums are pretty forward, but I kind of like that, you know? What's up, Hooks? How you doing, man? He says, hello, greetings from Argentina. Yo, shout out to the Argentinian homies. Argentinian. I'm pronouncing things wrong. But yeah, welcome on in, dude. Man, it's kind of surprising to me how many people I meet from Argentina, honestly, in these streams. That's great, man. I'm curious if I think I have a decent amount of listeners in Argentina. I have no idea how you guys are finding me. I'd be curious to know, but it's good to have you here, man. Okay, this trumpet came in a little bit harsh. Let's also check out our max peak. Minus 3.48. That's pretty good. Hell yeah. Oh, also, I don't know, just speaking of different countries and whatnot, I wanted to let you guys know. Oh, just gotta hit that top note. There we go. Okay. But yeah, I wanted to let you guys know that I was actually on the radio yesterday. Mexico, 106.3. I was on FM radio yesterday on a show called House of Jazz. They did an entire hour of TapDaddy stuff, and they even had me like record a little blurb, basically being like, you know, hey, it's TapDaddy here. You're listening to whatever, and shout out to my, you know, it's like, dude, I gotta do all the radio cliches. They listened to a full hour of my music, and I couldn't be more happy. I just like, oh man, that makes me so happy. I can't believe it. You know, actually getting like not only just played on FM radio, but that they decided to feature me on their show and like really do like a full hour of my music was, I'm so grateful. So I'll try to post like links or something to the full radio show. I don't know how many of you guys are Spanish speaking, but yeah, it was down there in Mexico. It's just kind of crazy. I love it. I love it. Anyways, let's keep nudging this around. I'm happy with where our max peak value is. These drums are a little bit intense. At least like these hi-hats maybe. How much compression we got going on? Let's see. It might just be that we're pretty compressed here. But yeah, you should have said it in the announcements. It's in the fun fact. I honestly wasn't sure what time I was going to be on until like pretty much right before I was on. Oh yeah, this is quite compressed. But I kind of like this compressed feel, so we're going to keep this. We're just going to try to rely on gain staging, despite the fact that it's like super compressed. Let's That's actually much better. I turned that way down. I kind of needed to with how much compression was going on here. We're also going to bring down this open hi-hat. It's very like kind of harsh on the ears. We're probably going to smooth that out. Oh, there we go. That was good. And I do have an EQ applied to this. Ooh, that feels good. I brought the drums forward by 1 decibel, and I feel like I could do that now that I brought that hi-hat back, you know? Are these piano chops a little bit quiet in the background too? Yeah, let's bring that forward a bit. We might try to compress this piano a little bit, try to give it a little bit more fullness to it. And then we're going to have to regain stage it anyways. See, I did have a little bit of like mixing work done on this already, you know? Like, I see I put a bell here around a harsher range in our guitars. Okay, and then this... already feeling pretty good. Oh, you know what we really need to bring forward is... this. this guy. And, oh, man, I've got kind of an idea. Rather than just boosting, because we're going to need a regain state after we do this anyways, but I kind of want to make this a little bit more intense. I'm thinking a way that we might be able to do that is with a dash of OTT on it. Might kind of give it the right sort of like pressure to really push it through the mix a bit. Let's see. Yeah, multi-band OTT. I think that this is going to be kind of what we want to do. Let's see if this is going to work right. Ooh, I actually like that really slammed through the OTT like that. Now we hear that with a lot more clarity because it's just all pushed up to the ceiling, you know? It's kind of feeling good like that. Let's regain stage it now, though. There we go. Okay. Now that's feeling good. That's feeling good. Maybe 1 decibel higher. Alright, I'm going to turn my volume down a smidge just to hear that at a lower decibel volume. Just life pro tip when you're gain staging. Sometimes, you know, just listening to it at a lower listening volume can really help you, like, tell what is louder than what, you know? It's like when you listen very loudly to everything kind of sounds loud, you know? So it's kind of hard to tell, like, what needs to come up, what needs to come down, you know? Like, the opposite is true when you listen at a low listening level. I don't know. I think it just does great things, you know. It's just like a much better way to really listen for, you know, discrepancies in terms of like volume differences. See, when I listen quietly, this actually sounds too loud. Now, maybe that's about the right volume. And we could kind of play around with different amounts of OTT on this. Yeah, maybe it's not like completely slammed. Boy, I have that guitar part really compressed. I think that's working for it though. All right. Let's look at these drums a little bit more closely. I want this kick a little bit more forward. I am curious because, like, you know, honestly, the kick's volume is pretty good. I guess what I'm craving is a little bit more low-end punch from it. And I have a little bit of an idea how I'm going to get that. Let's bust out Radiator. Let's just play around with just like a dash of Radiator where we're going to boost the lows on this saturator plugin called Radiator. We're going to do this before the compressor. And alternatively, we could just bust out an EQ and kind of slap it on the other side of this compressor, just kind of lifting some of the lows of that kick, But right now, I want to mess around with radiator on this. Now this is going to sound extreme let's see, there's a preset I like to start with. Yeah, drum puncher. Let's start here. We're going to adjust outwards. Yeah, you can kind of feel it. Really, I busted out this, saturator so I could play with this bass knob and give it a little bit of extra bite, Yeah, in fact, I don't think we need to boost that like I had it. It's just like ever so slightly a little bit more flavor to it, God, that's feeling good. So I am enjoying relatively this gain staging. We might boost this up a little bit more. Okay, and I see I already got my LA2A, my radiator, and a little bit of a EQ boost. Let's try swapping this radiator behind this. I think I kind of like this a little bit better behind the compressor. It's like any drive that's happening here is getting squeezed a little bit more. Now, there is something pretty major I want to play with in terms of this bass line in the drums. Now, I don't really recommend doing this for every song, right? But there are certain tracks where this works pretty nicely, which is just like the tiniest amount of sidechain between the kick and the bass. Like I said, this isn't going to be the choice for every genre, for every scenario, But sometimes if you can really like kind of allow for, let's say that your bass line's coming along, it hits this kick. If it kind of makes this divot, just like the tiniest, quickest little divot, you can really like squeeze these together in a way that just like feels pretty nicely. But, really what you want to avoid though is the big like pumping kind of sound, like we don't really want that. Like we want, tight. We want it to be tight, right? So, Let's duplicate our drums first of all, and we're gonna try to give ourselves a sidechain signal, right? So I just Command D. We got ourselves an extra drum now. Now let's first of all we're gonna silence this because we don't want to hear it, but we're trying to just get a signal from it. So let's solo it, and let's we just want that kick. Okay. Cool. Now we got ourselves a signal. Now let's go set up a tiny, tiny amount of sidechain between, that kick up here and this bass line. Now there's a shot that this doesn't work out. We're going to have to use our ears here. Okay, I've got my glue compressor out. I actually want like no attack and just like a tiny bit of release. And you know what? I might even stack this on top of itself. You ever feel like you set up a side chain with your compressor, but no matter what, it's just not ducking enough. It's just not like putting enough of a dent in the volume. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel like the more I've pulled back on that threshold, the less tight my side chain is. So one workaround I have for this is sometimes, I'll basically take this side chain and I'll slap it down right next to itself. So this first one is basically telling it, oh yeah, there's the signal. Now come down in volume, come back up, right? This second one is, we come down in volume, but then it goes, oh, you want to like come down even more in volume, right? And then we spring back up, right? So that's why sometimes you guys will see me stack these glue compressors together like this. Pull back a little bit more on that second one. Boy, that's feeling good. I'm kind of thinking this bass can come up now. Yeah, and I kind of want to bring that guitar up. We'll see. But yeah, I see Hook says, one question, do you use reverb on the drums or the snare? Dude, that's a really great question, because I'll tell you this, sometimes it's a little bit of both, actually. Now, this one in particular, we're actually running completely dry, And I think that's just kind of the style of this track. This is kind of more funk kind of focused. This is, the style of these drums. They're very dry. They don't really have much presence. Now, and one thing that we could play around with here, and something that I actually do want to play around with, so this is a good chance to, is sometimes I'll take some dry drums like this, and I'll put like a very, very tiny splash of like live room sort of reverb to kind of giving it the feel that the context that this is a real instrument that exists in a real space. That's basically what we're trying to emulate, Now, I feel like there's definitely different flavors of, putting reverbs on your drums. And sometimes, I guess, the real, I don't know, have you ever heard, like, an 80s snare? Like an 80s kind of sounding, snare hit that has this massive reverb on it, I feel like in situations like that where you know you're going to really love that reverb tail on the snare, you might specifically apply one to the snare, right? And I guess the reason why I mentioned both of these scenarios is there have been mixes that I've done where I go, yes, I want that massive reverb on the snare, but also maybe I want to give this some live room sort of feel, right? So there are mixes that I've done where I will do both. I will put a specialized reverb on the snare, but I will also just put a general reverb on the drums that is usually a lot more sparing, right? So, kind of speaking of this, I want to kind of dive into, let's just see how this sounds if we put something like a medium room reverb on this drum kit as a whole. I want to just just the tiniest splash. And I know that there's this one great reverb that is it's just stock Ableton Live. It's called Live Resonant, I believe. And it's a really great reverb, especially for drums, but pretty much anything that you want that sort of open studio space sort of feel. I would describe it as the same sort of sound of tiny desk concert, like a medium room kind of space. I don't know how to describe it really. Let's just play around with it. I'll show you. All right, we're gonna start very sparing and just kind of bring this up. Okay. You guys are probably already hearing what it, So that's the difference. That might even be too much. Okay, wow, that actually is quite transformative, Now, this is where also I think that a lot of mixing can become very subjective, I think that, and especially when I didn't know too much about mixing, when I was first kind of feeling my way out through how to mix music, I think I guess I just looked at mix engineers as they hold all the answers and that I might just be blatantly wrong about what I'm doing, But I feel like the more that I learn about mixing, the more that I find out that it is actually very subjective and opinion driven, much like the production, much like the songwriting, And this is, I think, a great example of this. Some of you guys might really enjoy the dryness and the tightness of the drums without the reverb, right? That sounds sick, but some of you guys might be really vibing with this lively resonant, this tiny splash of reverb on the drums to kind of help bring it to life a little bit. I think in this case, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the slightly more reverberated, but I would not fault you guys if you were just vibing with the dryness a little bit more. Let's A/B test it. Whenever you find yourselves at a crossroad like this, just a little bit of A/B testing. Just flick it on, flick it off, flick it on, flick it off, make a decision, right? So let's do that. Let's just listen. You guys will be able to see I'm just turning this on and off and we're making a decision. I think I like it with the reverb. It just feels ever so slightly more lively. Oh, let's think about the spacing of these bells, and let's think about the gain staging of it a bit. It feels like this instrument can't decide whether it wants to be in the left ear or the right. You know? Hey, P-Beaster, how's it going, dude? How's your day going, man? Good to see you, dude. It feels like it's leaning a little bit more to the left. And what else do we have in this section? We have this vocal bit, which is like dead center. I'm kind of thinking, let's lean the vocals to the right. Let's lean this glockenspiel to the left. See how that kind of feels. Just like, it doesn't have to be a big, like, you know, switching around of things. Let's just kind of nudge it that way, you know? But yeah, it's going good. Hell yeah. How about yourself? I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. I don't know if you heard, or I don't know. I posted it in the Discord. I was talking about it a little bit earlier. But yeah, I was on the radio yesterday. A show in Mexico did a full hour of TapDaddy on an FM radio station. So like, I'm doing great, man. I was like, I'm shocked by it. They did a full hour of my music. They even had me like record a little blurb, you know, saying like, you know, basically like shouting out my listeners in Mexico, and like, it was a whole thing, man. It was crazy. It feels unreal, you know. All right, let's lean this a little to the right. But yeah, I know. Let's go, dude. That's just wild. It was so weird too. Like, I don't know. Like, so it was like for a radio show that was called House of Jazz. And I looked it up, and dude, I got like prime time, like radio hour. Like, it was like at like 5 o'clock in Mexico, and a pretty decently big city, you know. Just like their local radio station. It was like a community radio station, 106.3 FM in Mexico. And dude, it's wild. Like, yeah, I got like a pretty primo slot. It was like 5 o'clock. So it was like about the time that everybody's driving home from work. They did a full hour of TapDaddy, talked a lot about my music, talked a lot about like, my influences, and like, I don't know, just like the stuff that I do. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. Yeah, I know, all that hard work, it's paying off, man. I don't know. Well, it does. It feels really good to be, you know, for all this hard work to kind of come back in some ways. I think sometimes it's just like, it's just kind of like, yeah, I don't know. It feels good to have some of this kind of like come full circle, you know? And man, honestly, I feel like, because I imagine some of you might be thinking like, damn, how do I get my music on the radio? Like, how? I'll tell you this. I feel like this is the most biggest, like, hugest piece of advice that I would give to anybody trying to accomplish anything in music is the people with opportunities. Like they will come to you if they want you. If they like the people with opportunities, if you want for your music to be used in a Coca-Cola commercial or whatever it may be, just know that the people with opportunities are looking, they are searching, and they will come to you, you know. But they will only come to you, right, if you're like accomplishing things, if you are, you know, doing things, if you are, you know. And so really, I feel like the best way to get more like bigger and better opportunities is to stay focused on your craft and your goals and what you are hoping to achieve, because seriously, I think that, the only reason why they found me is because I guess I was on a lot of new jazz playlists because, my music's starting to take off on Spotify, and it's like, well, I wouldn't have been on all those new jazz playlists if I wasn't putting out some really good, like, new jazz kind of related stuff, So I don't know. Food for thought. I would just say keep your head down, keep focused, keep working towards your goals because that is the most direct path forward, But yeah, Signature, what's up, man? He's like, that's awesome. Hey, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Oh, good day, fellas. Good day. Let's get back into this. Let's see. We were balancing these two. There we go. Getting closer. Okay, and if we're messing with the, spacing of this guy, we need to go back to our intro and hear how that feels. Oh, I actually prefer this. Vocals leaned a little bit right. And what's also very advantageous about leaning these vocals right is, quite honestly, I kind of am making this mostly, I think, for like my Spotify audience, for instrumental listening. However, I do know that I am going to put this up on BeatStars, and I will be trying to shop this one by rappers, I think. I just imagine people are going to have bars for this. And something to keep in mind, just in mixing down music that is eventually going to have a vocalist on it, is if you are sampling vocals, it might be wise to try to keep it a little bit clear of the exact center, right? Of the exact center lane. That way, we get at least 1 degree of separation between the main vocals from the artist and what is happening in the sample material. Now, and I think it's great if you can get 2 degrees of separation, though, which is exactly what we have because, we've kind of isolated down. This is the EQ for these vocals here. So, obviously, I'm hoping that some of the highs of the vocalist is going to hang over the edge of this and ultimately win out. This high-end information is where we're getting a lot of articulations from the artists. We get a lot of these are the sounds that make words identifiable, right? So that information is actually pretty important, right? Everything else is just mouth noises. So, but yeah, do you have a lot of songs with rappers or singers? Yes, sir. I'm so glad you asked because there are 2 projects I really want to tell you about. In fact, I'm gonna play you guys one of them. I'm too proud of this. I want to tell you guys about 2 projects. Okay, so recently, I just finished fully producing and mixing and mastering an EP with the artist Interpret. He is a sick MC that I've been working with for many years at this point. This is the 2nd EP that I've put out with him that I have fully produced, mixed, and mastered. Love it, love it, love it. I want to play you guys Calamity. I think this one's a really fun one. But I also wanted to point out to you before we go listen to that, I also recently, the artist who did the TapDaddyBeats tag, the artist who did the TapDaddyBeats, you guys know that tag? Perhaps you do, perhaps you don't. I don't know. Point is, I just did a full EP with him as well. Now he mixed it and mastered it, and he did an immaculate job. But if you guys are curious, his name is 1L1L. He is a fantastic MC. Like, good God. And, dude, he killed it on the mixing on this. Absolutely stomped it. If you guys want to go check it out, it's called In Case of Emergency. It is really just like some phenomenal like rap shit on some boom bap. Like, I think you guys are gonna love this. Actually, man, who should I play of this? I'll give you guys snippets. Maybe we won't listen to the full songs. I just want to play you guys a few snippets of these. So this is off of In Case of Emergency, 1L1L, ICOE. This is one of my favorites.
This critical message is being delivered by the emergency alert system. This is not a test.
We interrupt regular scheduled programming to notify you of an imminent threat
to national security and public safety.
Rising levels of uncertainty. We can grow through the flames, causing third-degree burns to me. I'm retrograding on some mercury. Listen, you just gotta spin this in case of emergency. Rising levels of uncertainty. We can grow through the flames, causing third-degree burns to me. I'm retrograding on some mercury. Listen, you just gotta spin this in case of emergency. Yeah, I hope it's for the better. Watch got 2 times, it's right now and never. Played the game enough to know that sunshine breaks through whatever weather. How to make that sunshine last forever, that's a question with no answer. Children hit with cancer. Life comes fast, death comes faster. This whole life backwards. Contingency of being free as we got freedom to vote for our master. Disaster. Play my hand cool. If they knew half of what the man knew, they probably try to ban school. I'm just doing what I have to. 1L of Matthew, don't have to choose. Smash through like Crash Bandicoot. And it's new. Upper hand slams down and ends up at the same level as you. Relax, it's cool. We all been there. Breathe you with some fresh air and hang tight. Everybody fighting the same fight. Rising levels of uncertainty. We can grow through the flames, causing third-degree burns to me. I'm retrograding on some mercury. Listen, you just gotta spin this in case of emergency.
Oh man, I hope you guys enjoy this apocalyptic EP.
Listen, you just gotta spin this in case of emergency.
Boom, there is the link to that EP. If you wanna save it, if you wanna go check it out, Jeff, definitely do. I would appreciate it. I would love it if you guys do. And then of course I played the full song there. I mean, these are 2-minute long tracks. I like the tightness. I like the conciseness of a tight arrangement, right? Now I want to show you guys probably my favorite song that I've ever done with this artist Interpret. I've worked with him for about 3 years now. I produced, mixed, and mastered this EP, and I hope you guys really enjoy this. And by the way, if any of you guys are looking to work with me, I am a working producer, mixer, master engineer. Please reach out. I've got my email in the description of this stream. Definitely send me an email for anybody looking for any type of work, right? I want to just play you guys Calamity, and then we'll get back to the mix. But yes, this is Interpret off of his new EP, New Beginnings.
Around couple days to payday, the wallet has glue, stuck single, need to mingle, guess a battle takes 2, guess the honor wearing armor to the feud, jib jab jabbering, man and a mannequin, top floor model looking good but bad for traveling, the radio's broke, info had to be known for long unraveling roads, hey yo, what's that, no assumptions, keys to life, from out the dungeon, peace sign, pipes to light for those that are hot lunching, bad moments not found, no wage of time, simple night and day glow, campaign of them beginning to awaken the folks, a quiet house, nobody stirring except the cookie mouse, chocolate chips in the microwave, it beeps like a shout, do not disturb, word, too fancy, need a sweet, tuxedo torpedo off of the balcony and land in the sea, clear the throat and wanna choke, crocodile tears, salt life, that's all she wrote, spray cans in the backpack, cross map, scope sticking out like a sore thumb, banging war drums on the forefront, double smoking Donkey Kong barrels, took a week to be beat the high score. What's done is done, practice makes perfect. Do it once, do it twice, reputable service. Long run through the world is simple. Hurdles on horizons, pink, flamingo, orange, purple. Nice blend, sun settings the mood. Chilling on the flip side where the sky's jet blue. Tracing back to the avenue where truth broke through. One time for the living is gone, and in that fight we seek to belong. Dead wrong, remain calm, sign reads run.
But yeah, guys, give it up for Interpret and his new EP, New Beginnings. There is a link right there. Go check it out. Dude, I love this shit. I love what I do, man. I love what I do. This is so much fun.
Proper times for violence. How about don't try it?
Man, I would also say, I don't know if he's got his Instagram listed here, but you guys should go follow him on Instagram. He is also Interpret on Instagram. He does so much sick graffiti work. That's why you hear so many bars in his stuff about like graffiti, you know, spray cans in the backpack, you know. Like, dude, he is on some real, like, art shit, man. He does these crazy edits online where, like, he will, like do a full graffiti mural, and then he, like, edits himself entering the mural and, like, spray tagging something, and, like, I don't know, man. It's really crazy. He's a really interesting guy to follow on social media, so definitely check out some Interpret. But, yeah, you know, 2 projects that just came out recently. Like, you know, it's so sick. I do so much in the vein of just, you know, like instrumental music. I've got my biggest audience when it comes to instrumental music, but also there's just some really cool stuff that's been dropping in my appears on section, you know. Now, not everything in this is like, you know, some of these are just like tracks that people like bought leases from me online, but there really are some projects in this appears on section that I just think are phenomenal, cool projects that I've actually done a lot of work on. So, you know, shout out to 1L1L, shout out to Interpret, and yeah, let's get back into the mix. But I'm so glad you asked that, PBster. I appreciate you, man. All right, let's get back into it. And you know what's great about that? Now we can get back into this mix with a little bit of a cleansed palette, right? Like, you know, usually you might get a little bit worn down as you're going through the track over and over and over. You kind of get used to how it sounds, right? So I feel like now we've kind of cleansed our palette a little bit. We've listened to some other music. Now, I guess my objective in listening to this back for the first time, I'm trying to not look for problems. I'm trying to listen like a normal person, and if anything sticks out to me, I'm gonna dive into it and just start adjusting things, right? So like, let's check it out. Let's listen back. Yeah, I think that needed to be moved a little bit right. I'm gonna bring this open hat down a bit. I'm actually really enjoying the sound of this trumpet. Might need to come down a bit though. Woo! We might even need to bring this bass down like a smidge. Just a smidge. It is almost a little bit overbearing. I kind of want to give it just like a little bit more drive. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're at the point where we're making like minuscule adjustments, right? God, it does still feel very, very big in the bass. Which, I mean, this is hip-hop music. Like, yeah, we kind of have all the freedom in the world to go as big as we want to on the bass. But at the same time, I think that this mix might be more effective if we, you know, kind of set our bass, like, our bottom line down a little bit. Might help, like, the drums to feel a little bit more snappy. All right. Let's have a look at this bass. Compressor. Ah, it's hung. It is quite compressed. It's okay. All right. I think we're there. All right, let's go really take a, you know, magnifying scope to this snare. I'll tell you guys what I want to do. I do like the snare. One kind of fear that I have, though, is like as we get to the mastering process, I think this snare is going to be the limiting factor of like how much we can push that master, you know? And I think like maybe one way that I can kind of mitigate it a little bit is if I can kind of like figure out where the harshest frequency is in this snare, what is contributing the most harshness, and just kind of put a little bell around it. I might even be able to bring the snare up a little bit. I really just don't want to like, you know, the snare to be fighting us when it comes to the mastering process, right? So let's try to figure this out. I don't know, though. That might take out the bite. Oh, that actually feels good, though. This little boost at about, you know, really, so what I was doing there, I'm like trying to like raise I'm trying to like really just slide through here and see what is going to be the harshest on my ears. I was surprised to find that none of that sounded too harsh, right? And in fact, there were areas of that I quite enjoyed. I think specifically a little boost at like 1K, a little bit below 1K here at like 800-900. I don't know why, just like this little bit sliver right here below 1K just feels like it gives this snare a little bit of power. And whenever we're uncertain about something like this, we're doing like really minuscule stuff here. Let's A/B test it. I'm just going to flicker this on and off, and we're going to make the best decision for this mix, right? It's like really not much of a difference at all, really. Like there's a little... Honestly, I'm thinking that we're overthinking this snare. I'm going to take off that EQ. We're going to let it dry. Because honestly, what's doing the most work on this snare right now is this reverb. And I'm liking how this feels. And in fact, maybe what it is we just like set this snare back like 1 decibel. Oh, that kind of makes the kick a lot more like oomph. Because yeah, now we can bring it up 1 decibel. Now, I do feel like, just observations about my mixes lately, and I feel like this is very typical of me, just like in boom bap, I feel like I have a tendency to put my drums probably more forward than other people might do, I'm trying to be mindful of that, but I'm also trying to not like psych myself out, like I'm trying to like make the best decision possible. Like, let's... Let's set that snare back 1 more decibel. No, I think it was fine where it was at, I'm just overthinking this. What we haven't played with yet is the piano sample. And honestly, there's a reason. There's a good reason why I haven't messed with this piano too much yet. And that reason is because it doesn't sound bad. Like, if it's not broke, don't fix it, I think that sometimes we get in our head about like our processes of like, Like, I always apply compression. I always do this or that or the other thing. If it doesn't need compression, don't compress it, you know? If it doesn't need to be EQ'd, don't EQ it, right? I think that this is where it makes sense to kind of like, I don't know, address things as they come to you, and maybe be careful of like certain dogmas that you are creating for yourself when it comes to mixing. Things like, oh, I always do this, I always do that. You know, you should really question yourself at every turn. Why do I always do this? Why do I always do that? Does this always need this or that? You know, like... I'm not gonna lie, these drums are feeling a lot more forward. Let's bring it back one. Okay, yeah, I'm kind of like thinking right now kind of more broadly, like, okay, so if I'm considering bringing both the drum and the bass down by 1 more decibel, which I want you guys to consider this from another perspective for a moment. You could think of this as, oh, I'm bringing the drums and the bass down, or you could look at this as I'm bringing all of the instrumentation up by 1 decibel, you know? It's literally the same thing. Loudness is all relative. That's what we mean by loudness is all relative, you know? Even just like in the context of this drum loop, bringing the snare down is the same as boosting the kick and the hi-hats, right? At least as it pertains to just this grouping, right? Something to consider. I don't know. I think we're pretty much getting there. Let's just, let's try that though. Bringing this down by 1 more and the bass down by 1 more. And let's see, that was our bass. There we go. Actually, I'm thinking bringing that bass down was a mistake. But I'm thinking like, yeah, we're honing in on the right level for the drums, you know? I admit I've been setting my drums too far forward lately. And I think that this is like where it needs to sit. I mean, they're snappy. Okay, I want to do one more thing with this. I think that this needs like a slight reverb to kind of help open it up a little bit. And I think I want to use the same reverb that I've got a few ideas. I'm thinking maybe we don't want like a big glossy hall reverb. I'm thinking more like a medium room reverb, much like the reverb that we have on these drums. Yeah, see what I'm saying? Like, a little bit of this lively resonant on these vocals could be awesome. Maybe. Let's just try it out. We won't know until we try, right? Ooh. I feel like we're not able to really hear this reverb. We're not able to really fully appreciate that. it is going to need some slightly different type of reverb. Maybe we are going to go for just like the tiniest splash of a hall. But I don't know. Let's search up medium. And medium dark plate, medium room, ambience medium. Yeah, let's go for medium room. And you know what's difficult is this sample right here has some reverb on it. And you know what? I think like, okay, I am liking... And I just noticed something microscopic that I want to get out of here. You guys heard that? This is what mixing is about. Fuck that noise. We're getting that shit out of here. Cleaner, okay? Man, and that's the thing is it's like all together, you wouldn't notice that noise. And quite honestly, who's to say if it's really that much of an issue, right? But I'm telling you, I think it is all of these tiny, tiny, tiny details all stacked up together that ultimately, you know, when we're making changes like this to our mix, we're not transforming our mix by like, oh, now this sounds amazing. It's 2% cleaner here. It's 3% cleaner here. It's you know, wow, these drums sound 7% more crisp, you know? And it's all of these things stacked up together over the course of time. That is just like, that's where, you know, that's where the money's well spent, you know, on your mix engineers. You got to find somebody that's really cleaning with a, you know, really careful ear. Okay, so I had an idea. I want to just apply a smidge of compression to these vocals. And I think that's going to do a couple things. It's going to help wrap this medium room reverb around the vocal a little bit more. It's going to help bring it forward. But also, like I said earlier, this sample has some reverb on it. And I can't control the dry wet on the reverb of the sample, right? So you know what I'm going to do to kind of make that a little bit more pronounced is I'm going to squish the dynamics a little bit. So those subtle little, those subtle little reverbs are going to kind of come forward a smidge, you know. So we're going to use this LA2A tube compressor. Love this thing. And we'll just see what kind of sounds we can get with this. Now, let's see if it wants to cooperate with us. These LA2As, I don't know, while I'm live on YouTube, this needle gets frozen, but we're going to use our ears. I think it's not compressed yet. Okay, I'm starting to... Oh, yeah. Okay. Now that is bringing this forward volume-wise. If I... okay, so little life pro tip about using compressors, right? Something that you should look out for when you are compressing stuff is loudness bias, okay? Because obviously, you know, as we are squeezing the dynamics, we are raising the floor, we are lowering the ceiling. This is obviously going to affect how loud the sample is. Now, What is, like, so our primitive brains, we're going to go, ooh, loud, good. We like loud, right? Well, that's not what we're trying to accomplish here. If you just want loudness, turn it up, right? What we're trying to go for here is something that is a little bit more dynamically dense, where we are trying to lift these reverb tails upwards towards the ceiling, just like a smidge, right? Now, right now, I'm just using my ears. And quite honestly, I like the amount that it got brought forward, right? But normally, what I'm trying to do here, if I'm trying to eliminate loudness bias, is I am trying to see where this needle comes back to. So let's say that if we're trying to eliminate loudness bias, meaning we're trying to keep it at the same loudness that it's always been, let's say that we see this needle go back to -3. That means that we know that +3 decibels of gain is relatively where we want it to be, right? If it's compressing down 3 decibels, then we want to give the gain 3 decibels to keep it at the relatively the same volume, right? So that's kind of how you can look at those needles and kind of know what you're doing a little bit more, right? So just something to think about. Of course, these needles are kind of frozen right now, Hey, what's up, Colors? How's it going, dude? Yo, what's up, Nix? He's like, boots and cats and boots and cats. Dude, I have something to tell you. Dude, Precipice was actually played on the radio on 106.3 FM in Mexico. Yesterday, they did a whole hour of my music, man. They did a radio special on TapDaddy in Mexico. I don't know. I just thought I'd let you know, man. But yeah, how's your day going, man? How's your day going? Let's see. Oh, there we go. There we go. I know, right? Holy shit. Dude, I was the featured artist on a radio show called House of Jazz in Mexico. And dude, they even had me like record a little radio blurb, like, have you guys ever been listening to the radio, like your local radio station, and there's a song that's making the rounds on all the radio stations, but then you hear like a little blurb from the artist saying like, hey, what's up? It's me with the Dave Matthews Band or whatever the fuck, being like, and you're listening to 94.3 kilo, like whatever it may be, right? They had me record one of those where I was basically like, oh, it's TapDaddy here. You're listening to, whatever station, and just wanted to shout out to all of my listeners in Mexico. And like, I don't know. It was really cool. It was a cool moment for me. Okay. Like that's at least how I feel about it. It was really cool because I've listened to so much radio as a kid. Now I got to be the guy doing the little blurb on the radio, That was cool. Anyways, let's get back to this mix. But yeah, Nix, how you doing, man? How's life treating you, my guy? All right, let's see. We might nudge this back a bit. I don't know though. I kind of like it up. Woo! Okay, small thing that I just caught. This guy right here did not feel good because this came so much later behind that snare. Or it was that kick, really. But this, and you'll see, like, a lot of these are off, and that's fine. We're leaning on the back of the beat, but this just felt a little bit, like, genuinely mistimed, right? So let's just kind of slide it around. We'll just kind of play with it a little bit. But yeah, Color's saying, I'm doing okay. Could be better. A lot of work, university making me tired. Hey, I get you on that, man. I hope everything's going well in school, man. I know university is stressful, dude. I think we're going to just like slide these forward a little bit. Yeah, it's really actually just this guy. Let's scoot him like that much. Okay, that's good. Now we can replace this guy over here. Boom. Woo. Guys, I think we're almost there. Do I really want to cut this, though? You see, now I'm kind of second-guessing some of my production decisions, but it's okay. I'm the producer and the mix engineer here. I'm allowed to do all this. And hell, quite honestly, if I'm being real with you guys, I do serve as a producer to my mix clients sometimes. I'm doing post-vocal production. I'm like tightening things up, and I feel like sometimes that is sort of part of the role, at least, of the mix engineer, is to like align timing issues that are not artistic, but are genuinely mistakes that are causing issues, right? Like, I feel like it's a tightrope that you walk as a mix engineer. You are really not there to be a songwriter, not there to be a producer, and you should respect that. But at the same time, I love getting this sort of relationship with my clients. I love when I earn their trust to really like make their music the best version of itself possible, And so I usually am like really telling my clients, like, I am also a producer, all of this stuff, and I can do like X, Y, and Z for you. And usually I'm kind of like, sometimes I kind of convince people to be like, yeah, I actually want you to try all these things. And, get like, I was thinking of this for this area. I was thinking of that. And, basically if I can earn somebody's trust, I have a lot more freedom to really make their music the best version of itself possible. So, yeah. See, Color's saying I'm a trash producer and a trash mixer. Oh man, but I didn't crawl out of the womb with like a perfect like understanding of mixing. This is after 14 years of hard work, so like, I don't want you guys getting discouraged at all. This is, got to put in your 10,000 hours. And I feel like if you can put in your 10,000 hours, then you can be pretty unstoppable, All right. I kind of wanted to extend that out. Yeah, why didn't I have that there? I had it awkwardly like cut at the end there for some silly ass reason. Okay, let's just extend that out to whatever we can. Oh yeah, he's like, so I need to wait 14 more years. Or you could speed run it, man. You could speed run it. Just make as much music as possible. I'll tell you this. I have made the biggest strides in my production, in my mixing, in my mastering, in every single aspect that I do in these last 4 years that I decided to actually approach music with discipline and intention, Like, I made music for like 10 years before I decided to really start, freelancing what I do, start working with artists, start selling my beats, I worked on music for the hell of it, for the fun of it, for 10 years, right? And I genuinely did not improve nearly as much over the course of those 10 years as much as I did in the 4 years that I was really making music around the clock. I feel like there is a learning curve to everything that you do in music, and just a life pro tip to all of you guys, you can sprint up that learning curve if you so choose to. If you just are disciplined about it and you make music around the clock, like every single time that you run that gauntlet of opening up Ableton, you got a blank Ableton project. The more times you can run the gauntlet of blank Ableton project to a final, finished, mixed, and mastered piece of music, like that's really what experience is measured by. It's not measured by how long you've been doing it. It's measured by how many times have you run this gauntlet, and also how much have you pushed yourself to get better, while you are running those gauntlets. Are you regurgitating the same mistakes every day, or are you thinking critically and pushing yourself? And I think this is honestly like the biggest thing that I would encourage you guys to really think about. Just more broad, more general advice, about music and really making the improvements that you want. But anyways, I'm yapping at you guys. Let's hear this. I feel like we're pretty much at the end of the mix. I just want to let's run this all the way through. I want to get a max peak value, and I want to see if we're ready for our master chain. Okay? I want to see if we're ready to start mastering. Let's run this back. Funny enough, my uncle wants me to start mastering his music, so that's kind of cool, I guess. Oh, you should do it. You should do it. I'll tell you this as well. When you do work for other people, you hold yourself to a higher standard. When you do it for yourself, you're like, good enough. When you do it for somebody else's expectations you have to live up to. And so you hold yourself to a higher standard. And that's why I would say if you really want to get good at mixing or mastering, do it for somebody else. You should. It'd be great. God damn, this is sounding so good. Okay, so I want to try something on this trumpet real quick. I want to try something here. You notice that we haven't really touched this trumpet much, not like nearly at all. So a few things that I want to try. I want to kind of compress it just ever so slightly, maybe get it, like I don't want to like totally flatten it, but I want to see if we can bring forth a little bit more vibrance. And then I also kind of want to try filtering it. Maybe we do like a vinyl filter, but I don't know. I'm even more so on the fence about that. Alright, we gotta regain stage that. But it did squeeze it a little bit. And it's hard to tell because, like CPU usage wise, I don't know, this needle's not budging, right? But that's not really what's going on, right? We gotta use our ears here. I might have to double check this later, but let's bring this down a little bit. And that high note. Dude. Alright, I was trying to get a max peak value. I got distracted again. But it looks like we're going to be very safely under. I think I feel comfortable enough moving on to master. But let's just run this back again. And yeah, I think we're going to start with our Shadow Hill master compressor. Let's go ahead and start setting it up. I know we're going to be under. We're going to need to check it again afterwards anyways. All right. Let's see what this compression's gonna do for us. All right. First of all, I want to enable sidechain. Let's start nudging up this optical threshold. Okay, we can start to see this left needle move. Okay, now the tricky one. I'm not sure how much of this we're gonna want, but this discrete threshold and the discrete gain. It's kind of a weird one. It's like one that has like I forget. It's like a lot of, yeah. So like, it's like this long attack and very short recover. You know, this very short release. Okay, now we're gonna start nudging it up in volume. I'm gonna start with the optical gain. These gains sound different from each other, by the way. I think that this optical gain kind of brings forward a lot more of the brighter elements, and it kind of preserves the drums a little bit more. This discrete kind of brings a lot more of the warmth and the mid-range forward, and it's kind of cool. But let's mess around with these. Kind of thinking optical gain is going to be the way to go, really. Oh, we're starting to really squeeze this. Nah, because like this really did amazing things to our bass line underneath. Isn't this feeling like a lot more vibrant? That's why I really like to start off with some just compression, just to kind of bring some of the flavor forward. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm still kind of new to mastering. Like, I'm still learning my shit, right? This has kind of been my approach to every track, and honestly, it's kind of a minimalistic approach. I'll show you guys the rest of my chain here, but I want to hear this solo though first. Now that's sounding amazing, and we still have like 2 decibels of room here. Okay. Let's try to bring this close to 0. I noticed that because next I'm going to want to bring out Ozone's Maximizer. And I think Ozone's Maximizer works better usually if I bring it closer to 0, right? So let's bust out our utility. We're just going to boost the signal here by like 2 decibels. And hopefully that's going to keep us under a max peak value of 0 dB. So let's back it up. We're going to listen to the full thing here and try to get an accurate max peak. Okay. We'll watch it. So good. Honestly, I'm very happy with how this snare sounds. This snare is like, oh, so golden, crispy. Woo! Yeah, and it's looking like our max peak is gonna be minus 0.14. That is pretty damn close to 0. I like it. We're gonna bust out our maximizer. And we're gonna mess around with ozone a little bit, you know. But really I just want to get that maximizer on there. We might have it EQ it for us. We might tweak that EQ, or we might just go without an EQ. But we'll see. We'll see after this, you know? All right. Let's bust out Ozone. Where you at, dog? And I've just got the Elements version, which really doesn't have a whole lot in there, but it does have the maximizer, and I find that to be a very useful tool. So we're going to do it. We're going to do it. I'm going to let it kind of like listen to the music and generate some bullshit, you know. We might use the bullshit. We might completely change the whole thing. We'll just kind of see what we are working with. I think I'm going to have it run and listen like during this section. This seems to be kind of our main section. I actually want to purposefully exclude this solo from what it's analyzing, because I think that it's going to adjust the full master for this trumpet basically if I do. So yeah, we're going to run it back here. Let's run it hot. Next, see what it does. Might do some bullshit. Yep, generate some bullcrap. Yep. All right. Let's see what it does. Oh, yikes. That's pretty loud. I need to turn down your volume. That is way too loud. What is going on here? Okay, this EQ looks pretty agreeable, but what is going on here, buddy? Let's pull out our loudness meter. Let's see how loud this really is, or if I'm just being a pansy. Let's see. Oh, you know what? It's because ozone. Okay, I see what happened here. We're gonna generate this again. You see, I had this utility accidentally on the other side of ozone. We want that before ozone. So let's actually redo Ozone here. We're going to have it do that again. Volume warning for you guys. Yeah, I know. Super loud, man. Sorry about that. Okay, we're doing this after the 2 decibel boost, not before. Jesus. All right. And yeah, let's master assistant high. Next. Okay, let's run it. Yeah, you might want to turn your loudness down a little bit. It's gonna get louder here in a minute. Okay, this feels a lot more reasonable. See what's going on with our loudness meter. Okay. Looks like we're gonna still have room to push it up a little bit more than this. Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna have the room. So, first of all, true peak. Yeah, we want that true peak. We want to bring that ceiling all the way up. No need to limit it at -1 dB. This looks pretty promising. I want to like A/B test it a little bit. Wow, it looks like it didn't actually generate much like bullshit, you know? Like this actually seems to be doing something for it. It's very slight. It's very slight, I'll tell you guys that much. But this does feel ever so slightly a little bit more vibrant. You can really hear it in the piano. Because we're boosting that mid-range. Yeah, I like that. Okay, we'll keep that. Hey, you've won me over. We'll keep that. Let's see what we're doing here. We could just a little bit. Or, you know, let's keep that there. We might push that back a little bit more. But I kind of want to pull out our color limiter and do just some good old-fashioned limiting here. Try to push it just like 1 decibel more. And we'll just slap a limiter on the roof of it. Say, I call it a day. I don't know. Let's see. All right. And cool thing about this color limiter is it's also got like a little bit of a distortion knob on it. So you can kind of energize your master ever so slightly. And it's kind of cool. A lot of times I just like this limiter for mastering because we have the option to if we so wish to. But all right, let's put that ceiling snug up against 0 dB. Yeah, we might pull back on this a little bit. Let's play with some of the saturation. Oh, there we go. I'm thinking just like the tiniest bit of that saturation really brings a lot to it. Alright, and I want to hear the trumpet solo through all this. little bit. You can hear the drive in that. Woo! Dude, that is sounding so good. All right, let's bring it back to the beginning. I want to fully run this through. And let's see what our final LUFS value is. Let's just see what LUFS we landed on. And also, I'm paying attention to average dynamics here. I would like to land at about 10. If I can hit about 10 on this right here, average dynamics PLR, that's usually a good mark that it's like, yes, it's loud, it's compressed, but there are still dynamics in there. Let's hear it through. Oh, yes. Dude, nice. Minus 9.1 LUFS. That is perfect. That is right in my target range. My target range really is between minus 10 and minus 8 LUFS for my discography anyways. And yeah, average dynamics, 9.9 LU. Dude, that's nice. Hey, thank you so much, Signature. I appreciate you, man. Oh, man. I feel good. I feel good, guys. This is an awesome one. Now, I do have another one lined up for today. And I think I want to just, I want to just dive into it, see if we can get through it. But yeah, let's check it out. Let's check it out. So, I need to save this. But yeah. Colors says, have a good rest of your stream. I'll tap it next time. Yeah, definitely do. I like the pun. But yeah, have a good one, dude. All right, we got a trap beat to mix down. It's going to be a fun one. This is going to be a fun one. I think this is going to be good. Hell yeah. Thank you, Signature. I appreciate it, man. Oh, man. Feels good to have a really good track knocked out today. Feels very good. Very good. So we're just going to save this. I'm going to pull up my sheet. I have a whole like schedule of stuff to be mixed. And yeah, not song 938. That's the one. Okay. This one I made on stream like quite a while ago. This is a trap beat, but it is quite, I don't know. I feel like this is maybe not your average trap beat. This is definitely a very, like, I guess I would say a very positive kind of track. I think you guys will see what I mean when I pull it up here. But yeah, we gotta just wait for our spinning beach ball of death to solve itself, to correct itself, and then we're gonna be diving into it. But yeah, damn, I'm having a very productive week this week. Getting a lot done. Getting so much done. Oh, man. Man. But yeah, also, I guess I should mention, guys, I got an EP dropping at midnight tonight. It's called The Sunrise Serenade. And it's just like some really, really good, feel-good kind of like jazz hop, boom bap, like chill bap kind of stuff. But it's like, I don't know. It's if you guys enjoyed, I don't know how many of you guys remember this EP, Earthbound. This was like quite a while ago. But yeah, if you enjoyed Earthbound, I think you're gonna really enjoy Sunrise Serenade. It's gonna be a really good one. So, anyways, yeah, let's dive into it. Let's see what we got up next. Oh my gosh, am I free from the shackles of the spinning beach ball of death? It's still thinking about it. There we go. All right, let's open this one up. Song 938. It has been quite a while since I've opened this one, so I might actually have to go find it. Let's open live set then. And yeah, let's see where we're at with this. I think it had a decent mix on it. I'm honestly not sure at all, like, what is left to be done in this mix. But we'll find out. We'll certainly find out. Let's see. Gotta stay hydrated too, you know? Gotta hydrate when you're shaking ass this hard, you know? Oh, all right. Come on. I believe in you. All right. Should be loading here any minute now. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Song 938. So this was a little while ago. For reference, we just finished up song 955 was the one that we just mixed down. That was the last one that I made last Saturday. So this was, a decent while ago, maybe like a month prior. February 6th was the last date modified for this one. So, yeah, about a month ago. A little over a month, but I think it's going to be a good one. And honestly, I have no idea to what capacity I'm releasing either of these. Honestly, these are just some of my favorite demos that I have in my demo folder, and I haven't decided really like what I'm going to do with them, whether it's going to be like a single or it's going to be a part of an EP, or I don't think it's just like tracks that I'm only going to drop on BeatStars. I think that I do want these songs to hit my Spotify in some capacity. But I haven't really made plans around the discography of it. I just know that I really like these songs. And so, I decided to get ahead of it. I know that I'm going to want these mixed down and mastered and all of that. So, just putting in the work where I can. Oh, man. Yeah, my pipeline schedule has been really kind of chaotic, very crazy. I've had a lot of EPs, a lot of EPs. So we did, let's see, we did Serendipity, and then we did Last to Leave Earth. Tonight, Sunrise Serenade is coming out. And then I have another EP that I believe I mixed on stream in front of you guys called Snack Time for Turtles. And that'll be the next EP that's going to be coming out. Got a couple other projects in the works that I'm still like trying to line up, And then, of course, I have a full-length album, but that I still have so much work left to do. Okay, so here we are in this project. We're going to need to... some media files are missing, so we're gonna have to search our sample folder, sort that out. But yeah, boy, I'm curious, what chain does this go to? No new candidates were found. What are we talking about here? What's missing? OS. Yeah, OSVC2. This should be in my splice folder. Let me just search for this sample. OSVC2. Oops. VC2. Let's go over to our user library. Falling in Love, alt. See, I think this should be in my splice folder. Unless, did I accidentally drop it? Oh, I did accidentally drop it in there. All right. Yeah, this is the sample. So I accidentally dropped this in here. Let's move this over to our splice folder. I believe this was a February beat. Cool. So now we can search that again. And I'm also just curious. Sometimes when I make trap beats, I will put things on the master. I'm curious if that was the case here. Oh, no, perfect. We have a totally clean master. So let's listen through this. Let's see what our max peak value is. And just see what we're starting with. First listen through. God, I forgot how much I love this track. Pretty slick. This sounds pretty well mixed. Oh, I see what I was doing. I was compressing these together. I think I might undo that. Yeah, I think I want to go a lot more dry on my drums and let gain staging really carry the weight of it. All right, let's get into this. Like, how much did I have going on in this Shadow Hill? I want to see. Oh, looks like I really had this optical. Yeah, so let's, for First of all, we weren't using that in our chain, so let's delete it so we don't confuse ourselves. Let's take that off. Jesus, what did I do to this kick to get it? Gosh, see, I feel like this sounds better without all that. See, like I said, I want to run this a lot more dry. I want to utilize gain staging to really get it to sit right first, and then we can start messing around with all this stuff. Yeah, in fact, taking off everything. Let's start bringing things up. I want to bring this kick up, or this snare up to this kick. Let's pull out an EQ on this kick. If I really cut out those highs, because I'm hearing some clicking in the highs that I'm not a huge fan of. Okay, of course, now we are clipping. Jesus, by a lot. That's where maybe this limiter is a good idea. That's way too much, though. Like I said, I think it's best to really just start thinking about gain staging before we really dive in with all these fancy bells and whistles, you know? So I did sidechain this in order to like, I didn't sidechain it, but I compressed it together. I'm thinking instead of this optical. Not gonna worry about that right now. Let's take everything but the drums and the 808s down by like 3 decibels. Give ourselves some headroom, basically. Wait, we need to grab everything. Yeah, no, it is there. Okay. We put just like the tiniest bit of compression on this 808 just to bring it forward a little bit, but really just make it a tiniest bit more full. Nice. Oh yeah, just like a little boost down here. There we go. We are definitely in the red. Let's say everything come down by 4 decibels. And this comes down by 4 decibels. Okay, we're getting places. I know it's like pretty quiet right now, but our max peak is like minus 0.49. curious if we did get a limiter. And maybe we put it on this. Man, and really, the goal that I'm going for here is I want this to really, like, rattle the windows in my car, you know? Which means that I am going to have to car test this. Like, this is absolutely a track that, you know, gotta go listen to how it sounds in the Prius. You know? I gotta make sure it sounds sick. Now, I am really curious about something. I typically don't like to do this, but I am experimenting here. You know, like, this is kind of experimental. First of all, I just want to see what the width of it looks like. If it's like a dead tiny mono in the center, or if it's got a little bit of width to it. Yeah, it's just like this sliver, right? So I am just curious. What if we busted out Phase Mistress? Actually, I'll leave this out just so we can visualize what is happening spatially. But I'm curious, what would it sound like if we phased, you know, an 808? I don't know. I just want to hear it. Because who knows, this might give us some interesting depth and complexity in our bass, you know, or it could sound like shit. Either of these things are possible, fellas. All right. All right. Phase Mistress. Oh, we might do some fuckery here. Woo! You guys feel that? Holy shit. That's way too much on the sides, right? What if we did something like this, but we really brought down the dry wet so it's not traveling like super far onto the sides? Because you see, it's like some of that width is pretty interesting, but also if our bass is not center, it's gonna feel like the whole foundation of the track is not quite center, right? See, some of that on the sides is like feeling really good. That's really what I wanted to experiment with here, you know? I don't think every 808 needs to be dead mono. Obviously this one, right? No, thank you. Now, honestly, I want to just go back to that stereo. And then I want to mess with turning the dry wet down. So you can see how it's bending here. That's interesting. As long as it feels center. All right. Now, I feel like I need to return to gain staging, you know? Honestly, I feel like the secret to making some killer trap mixes is like really relying heavily on gain staging to carry you to victory. You know? Like, forget about overly processing everything. Just, if you want loud 808s, let those 808s be loud, you know? It literally, if you follow that logic of just like kind of spending your energy where it is best spent, right? But not like getting too out of control. Like right now, I feel like this bass is like way louder than everything. And now I want to bring up my volume. Now, I feel like I do have to try something here. Let's pull out an EQ. And let's shave the sides of the 808. For everything that is like below, like let's say like maybe 150. So I'm going to throw this into mono/stereo mode. We're going to put it on stereo. And basically, we're going to cut like this. Okay. So that's basically making sure that everything that is below like 150-ish hertz here is going to be dead mono. But everything above that is keeping that big width about it, you know? In fact, doing this might allow for us to turn up that dry wet knob on the phase mistress. In fact, we can play around with different degrees of this. Dude, that is sounding cool. We still got our Shadow Hills master compressor on. Let's hear that without it. But with. Okay. Now let's zoom in on these drums. That EQ is the only thing I'm keeping from what we had. Now, I am curious, something that could give these drums a completely different feel about it. So what if we cut some of these highs? I don't know. Like sometimes that is really game changing. This is I would probably consider this to be more of a production detail than a mixing detail, although it definitely has consequence for the mix, right? Nah, I think not. We'll just keep that. Now let's zoom in on this snare. Biggest gripe about this snare is it's got a little harshness to it. Let's find that harshness. You know, let's make a little bell curve down. But first we gotta find it, right? that hurts, right? Like literally, this is what I'm doing with my snares is I'm trying to find the frequency range. This is like that specific point that is giving us that harshness, right? That to me is the harshness right there at 2.72 kHz. Okay. So let's just kind of bring that down. Now, I think we could bring that up. Now we get, you see, here's now my favorite part. Let's A/B test it. Let's check our work on this EQ. Make sure that we actually made an improvement here. I like the feel of the snare better. That's good. That's good. Now, I kind of want to get a little bit of a drum bus out. I'm just going to pull out a little bit of Somatics Diablo. See if this punches this up in a nice way for us. Definitely gonna have to pull back on it. I can tell already. Just giving it a little bit of that bite, you know? Okay, now I feel like we are gonna have to kind of return to our gain staging, you know? Like, man, it's a process. We make changes, we reprioritize our decibels, you know? Okay, so I'm kind of thinking we might need to bring our hi-hats a little bit closer to our kick and snare And honestly, this is bumping pretty loud. I'm not gonna lie. I do like some real bumping, drums. We will see. By the way, how's my stream looking right now? I know YouTube gave me a little notification that it might just be my CPU's getting a little out of hand. We'll see. It should clear up in a minute. All right, I think we can start kind of moving on to some of the instrumentation. Yeah, I'm nudging this every which way, but this is just feeling the best. See, and our max peak is at minus 4.3. That's pretty good. We got room to bring things up. Okay, so I think just kind of thinking of the overall strategy of this mix, I'm thinking we're going to want that sample to be very mono and everything to really fill around it, But yeah. Oh, yeah, Signature saying Heatwave is good too by Slate Digital. Ooh, what does Heatwave do? I'd be curious to look into it. I don't know. I'm always on the lookout for new plugins and stuff. Let's see if we do mono this sample, what is that gonna do for us? Like, let's hear it. Not much. We could also try it the other way. We could use microshift to create a crazy stereo, This could be fun. I want to try it every which way, until we arrive at something that is feeling about right. Let's try microshift. And we'll see. We'll see kind of like where this leads to. This could be eye-opening. This could be totally the wrong decision. I feel like we really just got to try everything and, give ourselves all the options to choose from. So whether we go mono, whether we go very stereo on the sample, we shall see. All right, so I got microshift here. This is going to kind of shift the tuning of the sample, and it will essentially phase it for us, which I've been a big fan of phasing lately. I don't know. Woo! Whoa! Are you guys feeling this? No, this is it, man. This is make me want to go back to the drums a little bit. I want these drums to be a little bit more clean. Oh, dude, nice. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? We might give the delay on this piano a little bit more. I see I had an EQ here that we didn't do anything with. I want to bring this EQ onto the other side of that compressor, and I want to lift the highs a little bit. But yeah, oh, Signature saying it adds tasteful color and saturation. That sounds like something I would really enjoy, you know? I've been really having fun with like saturation, and just kind of colorizing stuff. Like, I don't know, two of my most used plugins lately have been Decapitator from Sound Toys. That has been really awesome. I don't think it was the vibe for this track, but it's been awesome, you know. And Radiator by Sound Toys, which is a great saturator plugin that I've been using a lot on like my drums and also on my bass. But you know, I feel like for those, it's been really working out for me when it comes to boom bap. And I think my approach for a lot of trap stuff has been to be a lot more dry with my approach to drums and try to allow for the gain staging of things to really like carry me. But I don't know, you know, like I feel like even then I found myself grabbing for that somatics, you know, like drum bus, right? So I don't know. I'm kind of going against my own words here, you know. I might have to look into that though. That sounds like something I would enjoy. Woo. All right, we need to bring this trumpet up a little bit. Yeah, honestly, it's like this trumpet and this piano. And I might bring back the volume of the delays just like a smidge. Now, I'm really eager to get to the mastering of this track. I think that that's where we're going to really be able to make some huge strides, you know? I don't know if I'm going to like overly do it like I do some of the trap beats that I do. You know, with like the crazy clipping on the master, but we can experiment with it. And maybe that's kind of like, I don't know, it's worth experimenting with, right? I feel like we're at that point where I'm just like nudging things around. I also gotta try, maybe instead of somatics, what if we did try, like, just Ableton's drum bus? I just want to see what it sounds like on here before we move on. Let's see, so drum bus, and let's turn that off for now. Now, this definitely changes the volume of things. I'm going to bust out a utility and group it with it so that we can kind of experiment with this. I'm thinking the somatics is gonna be the way to go. All right, you know, gotta like play with it, right? Okay, locking in there. Boy, I hope we have enough time to finish this. I'm thinking it might be about time to really dive in to this guy. So I am really curious about a few experimental things on the master. Part of me wants to just hear what Decapitator might sound like on the master chain. Kind of going a little bit crazy, you know? This is like, I don't know, this is where we get really experimental, and it either does wonderful things or it does terrible things. Oh. Dude, this may have been the right call. Dude, I like this. And what if we did pull out a little bit of Radiator? Okay, now this is gonna get a little extreme. Way too much. gosh. I feel like this is so finicky. Like, this can very easily get way out of hand and way overdone, but this sort of processing on the master is what's going to really, I think, give this track a lot of character, you know? Like, we're getting some interesting stuff, and I kind of like the artifacts that we're introducing by, you know, some of the saturation going on the master that is causing for everything to kind of, like, distort. See, but it can be easily overdone. It's just like a little bit unhinged. I kind of like some of this feeling that Radiator is giving us. That sort of like, it's this shaky like bass kind of feeling. You know? It's that. Alright, well, I am really curious if we can get some Shadow Hill master compressor on here, what this is going to sound like. But I think all of this is still very much a work in progress. This is kind of one of those masters that I'm either going to wake up tomorrow thinking this is the most brilliant thing ever, or I'm going to wake up tomorrow and be like, what the hell, were you high, man? Like, Jesus. You know, like... See, it does kind of feel muddy, though, with all this processing. What is our max peak? That's one. Okay, that's not too bad. We could throw this into our maximizer. I'm still not certain if I'm like sold on like all of the craziness, you know? Like, I'm still kind of tweaking this. might be the decapitator that's kind of making this a little bit more of a mess. It's too tempting, man. Way too tempting. That's clean without none of that. And then Alright, well, I have a feeling this is going to be a work in progress. This is definitely something I'm going to have to come back to and spend some more time with. This is definitely one of those masters where it's like, I'm going to want a good 2 hours, to really try it every which way, push it around, play with it a bunch. But I mean, I think so far this is sounding amazing. Oh man, guys. This has been super fun. I'm going to be live again on Saturday, just making some beats bangers, and bops. Definitely come swing by. If you guys enjoyed this stream, definitely be sure to go drop a like, drop a sub if you haven't yet already, so you can catch the rest of these streams. And a new album coming out at midnight tonight. New EP. Sunrise Serenade EP. I think you guys are going to really enjoy this one. So definitely go check out the Spotify. Go check out the new EP as it drops at midnight tonight. That is in 5 hours, 59 minutes, and 40 seconds. I'll drop the little pre-save link for anybody curious to find it. Some nice jazz hop music, It's awesome. I think you guys are going to like it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out, for keeping me company while I cook up. I will see you guys next time. Peace out. Later. Hell yeah. Take it easy, Signature.